Welcome to Fear Files, where the shadows hold secrets and the unknown lurks just beyond the edge of your sight. Over the next 9 chapters, we invite you to join us as we unravel the terrifying story that has haunted this community for generations. Subscribe and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss a single episode of this chilling saga.
The following evening, the Harding household buzzed with its usual activity. Dinner was a cheerful affair, filled with laughter and lively conversation. Lily and Jake recounted their school day, their faces animated as they described their adventures with friends and favorite teachers. Tom, ever the attentive father, listened intently, asking questions and offering praise. Emily watched them, her heart swelling with love for her family. After dinner, Tom ushered the children upstairs for their baths and bedtime stories, while Emily took a moment to tidy up. She enjoyed these quiet moments in the kitchen, the rhythmic sound of dishes being washed providing a soothing backdrop to her thoughts. As she wiped down the counter, she glanced out the window at the darkening sky. The sun had set, casting long shadows across the backyard. The first stars were beginning to appear, twinkling faintly in the deepening twilight. Emily was just about to join Tom and the kids when she heard a soft knock at the front door. It was an odd time for visitors, and a chill ran down her spine as she remembered the eerie feeling from the previous night. She hesitated, her hand hovering over the dish towel before deciding to see who it was. As she approached the door, the knocking grew more insistent, though still soft, almost hesitant. Emily took a deep breath and opened the door, expecting to see one of their neighbors or perhaps a lost traveler seeking directions. Instead, she found 2 children standing on the porch. They were dressed in old-fashioned clothing, their faces pale and expressionless. What struck Emily the most, however, were their eyes, completely black, devoid of any whites or pupils. It was as if their eyes were bottomless pits, absorbing all light and warmth. "Please, ma'am," the taller child said in a flat, monotone voice, "we need to use your phone." Emily's heart raced. Something about these children was profoundly wrong. Her instincts screamed at her to close the door, but she felt rooted to the spot, unable to look away from those haunting eyes. She noticed that the smaller child was clutching a ragged teddy bear, its fur matted and dirty. I can't let you in," Emily stammered, her voice trembling. "I'm sorry." "Please," the taller child repeated, his voice more insistent. "We need to call our parents." Emily shook her head, trying to regain her composure. "I'm sorry, but you need to leave." The children's faces twisted into expressions of anger and despair. The smaller one let out a low, mournful wail that sent a shiver down Emily's spine. She forced herself to shut the door, her hands trembling. As soon as it clicked shut, she locked it and backed away, her heart pounding in her chest. She stood there for a moment, trying to calm her racing thoughts. What had she just seen? Who were those children? And why did their presence fill her with such dread? She took a deep breath and turned, intending to tell Tom about the encounter. As she walked into the living room, Tom was just coming down the stairs, a puzzled look on his face. "Who was at the door?" he asked. "2 children," Emily replied, her voice still shaky. "They had black eyes, completely black. They asked to use our phone." Tom frowned, his brow furrowing in concern. "Black eyes? Are you sure?" "Yes," Emily said, her voice growing more confident. "There was something very wrong with them, Tom. I felt terrified." Tom put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Let's make sure the house is secure just in case," he said calmly. "I'll check the doors and windows." As Tom went about checking the house, Emily tried to shake off the lingering fear. She peeked through the curtains, but the porch was empty. The children had vanished into the night as mysteriously as they had appeared. After ensuring everything was locked up tight, Tom joined Emily on the couch. He could see the anxiety etched on her face and pulled her close. It's probably just a prank, he said, trying to sound reassuring. Kids playing a Halloween trick or something. Emily nodded, but the unease in her stomach remained. Maybe, she murmured, though she didn't truly believe it. But I've never seen eyes like that before. They weren't normal. Tom kissed her forehead. We'll keep an eye out. If anything else happens, we can call the police. They sat in silence for a while, the only sound the ticking of the clock on the mantel. Emily leaned into Tom's embrace, seeking comfort in his steady presence. Despite his reassurances, she couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister was afoot. Later that night, after they had both gone to bed, Emily lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The house was quiet, the children sleeping soundly in their rooms. But Emily's mind was restless, replaying the encounter over and over. Suddenly, she heard a faint tapping sound, like someone gently knocking on a window. She sat up, her heart leaping into her throat. She strained to listen, but the sound didn't come again. Had she imagined it? Or were the children still out there waiting? Emily glanced at Tom, who was fast asleep beside her. She didn't want to wake him, not yet. Carefully, she slipped out of bed and padded to the window. She peered out into the darkness, but saw nothing unusual. The yard was empty, the street silent. As she returned to bed, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. Something dark and malevolent had touched their lives, and it wouldn't be so easily dismissed. She only hoped she could protect her family from whatever horrors lay ahead. As she finally drifted off to sleep, Emily had no idea how prophetic her unease would prove to be.
Each day, a new chapter will unfold, revealing the secrets of Brookwood Hollow and the dark forces that seek to consume it. Brace yourself for a journey into the unknown, where every shadow hides a secret and every whisper tells a tale of horror. Subscribe and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss a single episode of this chilling saga. See you next time on Fear Files.